Nelka taking his chance when he knows there's somebody on his shoulder just about to take his position. Good finish. This, though, I still don't agree. I think the referee's in the wrong position, gives the red card straight. To me, Keith, that is a booking.
Well, you disagree with the referee. That's unheard of, but I agree with you totally, Gary.
We will take a look at the highlights. And of course, in the 6th minute, it starts off, and it is all Roma. Ball knocked out onto the right here. Mancini gets the cross across. It deflects, and of course, Coppola in the Atalanta goal. Very aware of what was going on there. Pops that one over the bar. Good save, and he was very aware of what was going on. A little bit later on, of course, this one comes in. And Vucinic, he normally doesn't miss them, especially from the 4 or 5 yard mark, but that header goes glaring wide of the post. A little bit later, free kick comes in, and your captain for the day, Cristiano Panucci, his 5th goal of the season. He steps up big when he needs to. Gets a bit of a header there, looks like a little bit of a deflection. And then Vucinic with a superb free. But this is why forwards do not go in their own box and tackle. Borriello is the only man back there that shouldn't have been. Takes down today, and of course it is a penalty. Now the heir apparent to Francesco Totti. This is De Rossi. Steps up, superb shot from the penalty spot. His 2nd goal, Daniel De Rossi from the spot, because you know what that means. Roma are still in the hunt for the Serie A right there. Totti cannot bear to watch. This one ended 3-2 in a bit of a thriller, to be honest with you. Play on the shoulder of the last defender, loves to poach goals, and as you see there, is able to... Roma have but 1 goal to win and keep the pressure on Inter. Luciano Spalletti's men march into the Stadio Olimpico, focused, having secured no losses in the last 5. For Gigi Del Rieri's men, mid-table mediocrity and vacation plans may be more apropos. It's Roma, Atalanta.
It seemingly is all about the money. After a 2-week layoff, we are back and welcome inside the Bass Pale Ale Pub for another edition of Super Sunday Plus. Christian Miles alongside Keith Costigan. The man in the middle of this sandwich here is Gary Richards.
Straight from Vieira and caught him pretty square.
Yeah, Patrick Vieira's been known for that in his lifetime, and he's had a history, of course, getting into trouble. If you're going to dish it out, you've got to be able to take it, right? That's going to be a booking for Patrick there. He's no stranger to the referee's notebook, is he? Doesn't seem to be the player of old. I mean, obviously he's been out, quite a bit of time through injury in his time at Inter, but still hasn't got back. He's got such a great pass, and he's a great vision, but just really hasn't come about completely for me in his time here.
That steely glare towards Vieira. He hasn't taken...
Ibrahimovic came into the game. We saw him cut that ball and cut it back to his left, but...
Oh, lovely touch, Ibrahimovic. He's got Cruz. He takes it himself, and he scores! Zlatan to the rescue!
Well, you wanted to see more passion. There it is. Stankovic cannot believe what has just happened. 2 chances early. You saw Ibrahimovic get hold of the ball, go past the defenders, and scuff them horribly wide to the left. This one, great first touch to sell the defender. Once again, skips it to the left-hand post. That one, no doubt about it, into the back of the net. Pick the bones out of that one. Inter back on track with a vengeance. Very quick, very calmly for him. You can see the reaction.
Give us it. Give us the sign.
And we talked about how it's opening up in the back because everyone pushing forward for Parma, leaving an awful lot of gaps open. Of course, the fresh legs. Gets behind that back defender.
2 goals in the second half from Zlatan Ibrahimovic is going to give Inter the Scudetto.
Yeah, lights out. Say goodnight, Gracie, because Parma, I think you're done and dusted now. As that last chance came through, it was very much opening up for Inter. Zlatan Ibrahimovic just steps aside, loses his defender, goes to that far post where nobody's picking him up. Perfect first touch. Everybody, the Fox Soccer Channel is continuing coverage of the Italian Serie A. Fantastic game, big game, of course, for Roma. They've actually reached the 78 points that clinched them the Scudetto in 2001. Hi, I'm your host, Gary Richards, for this massive game. Guarantee there's going to be goals in this one.
It certainly seems like the case. Parma going left to right in their white. They've got the Holy Cross on their shirt. Hopefully it does the job. In their heyday when they were an elite team playing at a very competitive level.
You see my kind of sort of delayed reaction there as it sort of sinks into his system as what happened. I don't think there was any intent there. When you do jump up for the ball, as you can see the coach is explaining there, you do have to use the arms to elevate yourself up. It's part of the game. Unfortunately, when you clatter somebody's side of their head with your elbow, he's certainly going to be hearing bells for an awful long time.
Get that out, and they need to settle it down. You know, Ashley needs to be gone. They need it, you know, like the big money, and let it settle.
Yeah,
I don't think it's him.
Yeah, he's caught in the middle of something. He took a job, and they've never taken to him.
Well, speaking of sales,
it's good for football if it takes the long term to breed that success. Manchester City is a big club again. They need to get that and need to settle.
Sign. Is
it too much to ask right now for Mark Hughes to finish in the top 5 or top 4?
Yeah, of course it is. I don't think that's too much expectations. I think money may dictate that, but I think with the amount of money that he's got, he won't worry about that. I think if next year things don't happen, then you start, you know, looking elsewhere.
Good
finish. This, though, I still don't agree. I think the referee's in the wrong position, gives the red card straight. To me, Keith, that is a booking.
Right, you disagree with a referee. That's unheard of, but I agree with you totally, Gary.
What kind of ramifications could that have next week?
Well, I think Chelsea's going to appeal that. I think they rightly so this time. I think, you know, the referee was in the wrong position. I think the assistant referee should have been there and seen that Carvalho was coming around the back and able to make a correction there. That's where they do need to communicate a little bit better. Some of the challenges over the weekend, some of the decision-making where they were calls and they weren't. It's, you know, it's human error. It's going to happen. We're going to be talking about it. If we didn't have this, we wouldn't have something to talk about.
Make a mistake, but
is it a tactical glitch, perhaps?
Well, I just think that with Anelka, he switches it on when he wants to, and he saw, probably, like you said in the highlights, Drogba's getting up and he's warming up. OK, well, I better do something. Great ball to set him up, good finish, but he does it in fits and spurts.
OK, guys. Campaign with a good effort.
Yeah, well, what he lacks in a little bit of skill, though, he makes up an awful lot of guts and glory. Very upset when he looks at the highlight reel of this. 4 or 5 defenders around there, not really reacting quick enough, allows the shot to be taken, picks out the left-hand corner there. I'm not so sure he knows too much. I know the intent is to get a touch on it, and he looks, and he's not quite sure where that one's going, but he's going to take all the credit. When you're 2-1 down at home, but look at the throw-in again from Rory Delap. Really upsets the defence. What conversations you and I off camera about this, you can see Timmy Howard going to punch, and he's just deflected,
the throw, I'm just baffled by Rory Delap. That's just an added dimension.
Kind of contact, he's going to get a free kick.
Well, that's why. I mean, Christian, you asked about why isn't there a defender behind the forward. The reason is if Timmy Howard hits his own defender, it's not going to be a free kick. If there's contact between the forward and the goalkeeper, he goes down, there's going to be a call. But what's the difference between a free kick, a corner, or a cross in there as opposed to that throw-in? The velocity with which he throws those in causes all sorts of problems. You used to see it in Ian Hutchinson in the 70s for Chelsea. Used to do the same thing. It's an unbelievable weapon.
It's like a set piece. It's a free kick.
Yet they're not beaten by the Premiership yet. They're still in there. They're still fighting. They have a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and they're really playing like they know that they should be in this league.
David Moyes sent to the stands here. Grounds for complaint for the Everton manager.
I like the way he sat there at the end of it. He shook hands with all the fans around him. It was a good bit of banter, but he was completely, you know, he said something to the assistant referee about the call. The bad call should have been a penalty,
which we can't mention on television.
No, but for, you know, he gets sent for, you know, respect for the referee and the assistants. I understand all of that, but give me a break.
No, yeah, he was a great place in Jeremy.
Yeah, a little bit out of sorts there, and you could just see. But Michael Owen coming in this unmarked. They've got to be questions about this from Hull City's management when they look at this one.
A lot like his goal. See why penalty, Gary?
Oh, I don't know. I think there's contact, but yeah, I think, you know, sorry, Nicky Butt, you got to give that one.
It's Nicky Butt and ball is my help.
No, you got 2,000 travelling fans there from Hull City. They're making all the noise. The other 48,000, absolutely. She does get a little bit fortunate with that turn, beating the defender, but you've got to say nothing. That's the difference in this game. It's a game of inches, and there you can see the difference with Newcastle not being able to score.
On his debut, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, this one you can see comes back off the post. He's in the right place at the right time. First to react. Is he offside there, Keith? You've got to say, you know, he was the first to react to it. Defenders all stopped.
It's the legendary Super Sunday Plus. Christian, Gary, and Keith breaking things down with you here, guys. It continues. But hey, Hull City, great result, and Phil Brown's got to be very happy.
Of course he is, and I think, you know, the thing with the way that he's gone about business, you know, quietly getting it done, efficiently getting it done. Not as flamboyant as Stoke as we saw with them, with the new boys there, but they're, you know, they're getting the results right now.
now. It's what happens when come that Christmas time. Can they sustain that? Right now, he's going to book for his passport. He thinks he's going to be in Europe next year. But I still think it may be vacation time.
Come on.
Manager of the month.
You know exactly.
A Tonkin.
Early on, Jermaine Defoe, he's been in good form recently. Good shot, a good save.
This is the form of his life. If he's not back in the England side and scoring regularly, I'll be surprised because he's starting to play very, very well. Yeah, put on an England shirt, Mido. We could use it right now. But I'm just going to say, what Mido does here, look at the way he gets hold of the ball, he sets it all up, gets the return, but he holds off the defender. The strength to do that and find the inside post. Good setup. What can you say about Crouchy there? Look at him. Sublime finish, though. You've got to say, with Jermaine Defoe, the first quick snapshot catches the goalkeeper unaware. Especially at that near post, you shouldn't be allowed to get away with that.
He would cut back. Is this a penalty kick?
That is inside the area. We saw that earlier where it wasn't given either. You can see clearly inside the line's edge. Does Downing go down? Yes. No chance of getting the ball. That is a penalty.
I think so. And Middlesbrough robbed.
I'm surprised that actually didn't go in by a deflection from the defender, because you know how that one works, Keith. And what I don't like about what Borough did there, they all fell asleep. First to react, of course, as you said, to make a. Of course he is, and I think, you know, the thing with the way that he's gone about business, you know, quietly getting it done, efficiently getting it done, not as flamboyant as Stoke as we saw with them, with the new boys there, but they're, you know, they're getting the results right now. It's what happens when come that Christmas time. Can they sustain that? Right now, he's going to book for his passport. He thinks he's going to be in Europe next year, but I still think it may be vacation time.
Come on.
The chance you got to take. You see an opening, you see a wound, you go straight for it, and that's what they made advantage of and took advantage of. I think that, you know, the fans were there. There was 50,000 there. 2,000 Hull City fans, 48,000 Newcastle fans, and their protest. I like the way they were still there, because it's like, let's not blame the players for this. We'll show up and support them, but we're going to do it in a responsible manner. We're going to be quiet and just, hey, you know what? Sorry, guys, but...
Is this a boycott? Is it a one-off, or are they going to continue to do this?
I don't think... You know,
they pay for your season ticket, right?
Yeah, exactly. You get enough bass inside of you. They're going to be back cheering next week, so... Who's
got to go right now, Keith? The situation director of football, you've got Ashley.
And then you've got the coaches and that are on the other side. You know, Dennis Wise is working against Keegan. Keegan's working against Dennis Wise. They're not working together. And Keegan just got to the point and said, look, either I'm in control or I'm not.
Gareth Southgate, very candid in his reactions to the match. Does he have grounds for complaint? Because Downing was brought down and Steve Atwell really didn't make the judgment there.
No, he didn't make a call at all. I think clearly he's going to have that. You can't look at that. They did give. In that first half, Portsmouth didn't play that well, especially at the back. But whenever Borough got the ball, started going forward, their only outlet is, you know, Downing on that left-hand side. And every single time they gave the ball up, which gives so many chances to Pompey on the other side of the park.
Yeah, I think...
Down to communication, they weren't doing it. Harry Redknapp points that out, and that's what he's good at, is that micromanaging at half-time. And that's why you have that half-time, to be able to make those changes. And sometimes you see it work, sometimes you don't. His players listened to him, and they made the adjustments.
Well, they respect him. He's got such a track record.
Are Middlesbrough falling back into their old ways?
I think that it's just too much of the same again. You know, I think that, you know, they're consistent, you know, being inconsistent, if you will. We talked about Spurs last year, but it's one of those ones.
Well,
it is, you know, it's like 1 week they come out and do it. They still just rely on, you know, Downing to be able to playmaker. And Milu's up there doing his stuff now, and he's lost a lot of weight, like you said, playing like he's on fire.
On the line, they're not going to be in the relegation.
Well, don't you see the difference? The changes that Harry Redknapp made at half-time, Southgate couldn't do that. That's experience.
Okay, we were kicking around the Barclays Premier League, and now we're going to kick around a little Major League Soccer. An international break before this round of fixtures. Major League Soccer continuing to play through it, guys. Gary, do they need to stop doing this?
Shocking. That's what I'm going to say. Shocking.
How do you feel about it, Gary?
Well, look at Toronto. It was farcical. The players are getting taken away. You have to go in 3- and 5-day contracts with some players from the park to play your game. And you call this a league that's credible? It can't be. I mean, I love this league, and I'm passionate about it, but you've got to do it the way the rest of the world does.
What park are they getting these players from?
Out there like that, and you have to go along with the way the FIFA breaks are.
Does that mean that we need to change the calendar and the time of season when they start playing?
I think, you know, the trouble is, look at what New England's going through. They're going through all these extra games and that, so the teams need to be stronger, but you have to play these maybe midweek.
Seeing New York and D.C. on 35 and 33, they're going to have to finish in the top 3 to qualify for the Western Conference.
They're not going in. You know what? I talked to fans. We had bunches of them at the pub watching the game yesterday. And the fact is, when you're not good enough to get up there, even if you squeak in, you don't deserve it. And they know they don't deserve it. It's got to be a lot of changes from Bruce Arena next year.
The funny thing is, I'm going to go against you on one thing. They may squeak into the playoffs because the West. Yeah, they shouldn't. But the West is so bad they make it in. And if they get in,
they're going to be a threat because Beckham, Landon Donovan are big game
Of course
players.
they are.
And that's what the playoffs
as they
are.
get in.
I would too.
He's got
I
a
think they'll
point,
be
though,
the
Keith,
best,
because
yeah.
they're only 4 points off of third place. But there's another X factor here, and it's the San Jose Earthquakes, and they're playing arguably the best football in MLS.
That's why they deserve. You know, this is the time of season where you step up and you play it, you get into it, you're in a role, you know, you're on that run now, and you should be there. And Frank Gallup's got to. He's doing what he couldn't do and wasn't allowed to do with his hands.
It's amazing.
I don't think he's like that, and I don't think he would do that, having met him several times.
No, he's
going to sit there quietly, of course, inside, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's looking at Galaxy going, God, I feel bad for them. He's going to look at that side, not with a gloat on his face. He's going to look just disappointed. No, he is, because there's a lot of things going on at the Galaxy that shouldn't be going on that are. And you know what? It's going to take an awful lot more than Tim Lewicki to correct that.
I'm not going to presume to even think what Yallop is thinking here, but I think he's happy he left the circus behind.
Well, of course he is. Absolutely. He's got no pressure. He's relaxed, and he's enjoying his football again.
All right.
What I see about that's a man that's not willing to sign a contract, that's going to put himself out there, show his football, show how good he is, and right there he did exactly that. Ran into a lot of problems himself on and off the field, but coming back with some vengeance.
And then
But he's back, and he's back in his own. He loves this place, loves the fans there, and of course he's playing like that. But look at this cross, look at that finish.
Jaime Moreno.
You know what? That's got no chance of going in. Goalkeeper completely wrong-footed, didn't see it coming at all.
And DC United coming forward again. Fred! It's an open goal, and he can't even find the target. Missed it badly.
Let's just move on, shall we? And there you go. Get down to that byline, cut it back. Defenders all caught. Look, goalkeeper don't know where he's going. Good hard finish. Get it on target. Good things will happen.
And Shelley
Absolutely nothing away from this finish. He side foots it. A lot of pace, a lot of power, a lot of accuracy. Good finish.
What about Kenny Cooper right now? Would he be a good fit with the USA and Bob Bradley's team?
I think he would. You know, Bob Bradley has that system going. He's working it well, but I think that it gives another option, another style of play, a different look, if you will. You know, things aren't quite happening on the park. You bring Kenny Cooper in. Look at the skill and look at the pace. And
14 goals.
He's really coming into his own right now. And this is a guy that's in confidence, got a lot of confidence, is playing well. How can you play with the best players? When you're playing with the US, bring in the best ones that are playing in form right now, not the guys that should already be penned in. The difference between the two, you know, Ching's looked good at sniffing around that goal area, the 6-yard box and stuff like that, and, you know, he's not as good at going forward now and attacking. Look at what Kenny Cooper did yesterday. Get hold of the ball, create something out of nothing for yourself, and he can do that.
But look, he hasn't done the best job this year. He may struggle to hold on to that job.
Yeah, when the rest of the world, when you have success, you know, you're rewarded for it. And as you say, with success here, you're punished for it because you get the injuries, you don't have the players, you don't have the depth of squad. You get, look at New England, same thing. You're getting all these games within a short amount of time. You just can't cope with it.
Okay, let's see, but he can make it in. Have you figured this out yet, Gary?
No, but they're all very even in the West. You've got to give them that. They're all, except for Houston.
I'm bringing the calculator
over there. Exactly. I mean, you know, Chivas, you know, slightly better than the Galaxy, and look how many places are different. Exactly. But I still think on the form, and we talked about it earlier, San Jose deserves to get in. In their home, the fortress, and going away, you know, it's the old school. You know, you win at home, you draw on the road, and you got a chance of getting something out of it. And this is where you're right. They've got to go away from home in the playoffs and get something out of it.
New stadium in 2 weeks, too.
Yeah,
that's
it's fantastic. It's good for them. He's done a great job, quietly done a great job.
Yeah, making a lot. Ex-Commissioner Bretos said he seems to echo everything you've been saying, Gary.
I'll vote for him now. You know, Don Garber has a tough job to do.
Yeah, he does.
He really does, and he's up against it. But, you know, Max is absolutely right. You just got to take those shackles off. You've got to allow these clubs to stand on their own 2 feet.
Yeah, I just hope Don Garber was listening and pays attention to
Look at these half-time highlights. The first half here, goes great setup by Cameronese to Del Piero. Slots it past the outstretched keeper. He wanted to step up. This was his day. Of course, the skipper for Juve. Fantastic. Gets a touch to it. Just sneaks in that far post. Great start to this game. But on the 14th minute, Kaká gets the ball, absolutely skins the defender, crosses that. Now, who's the boy inside the 6-yard box? That's it. Filippo Inzaghi, sniffer to his mates, gets in there, puts that one away. Too easy. Great 1-2 setup here. Who's there again? 6-yard box, Mr. Inzaghi. That's his 4th and 5th of the season. And at this point, plans are coming unstuck for Juventus. Take a look again. Little dink over the top. Defence caught very square, very flat-footed. Of course, Buffon, nothing to do but pick that ball out the back of the net. But here you go, Cameronese. Trezeguet knocks it straight against the goalkeeper. But Salahamanetic Sticks that one into the back of the net, and at the half, it is tied at 2.
This is the stuff that Wenger saw in him, and now he's just developing that to be able to come through and do that. But I think what you're also seeing is that those defenders know how quick Theo Walcott are, and they're backing away. They gave him too much respect, too much space, and they actually dictated which way he could go. He glided through that defence.
But that's my point.
Don't you see that with a youngster, that he has so much pace? What happens when he loses the pace? You know, Michael Owen lost his pace. Now what have you got left? And Walcott, you just hope they keep...
Quick indeed, but the reason he's not at a bigger club is, well, he can't never seem to find the back of the net.
He did when he first started, but that one, I think you're absolutely right. Where was the support? He should have maybe tried to hold it up, go back, keep control of the ball. But does make up for it there. Good save, good effort. Disappointed in Sunderland's form here right now at the back. The defence just giving it up too easily.
You know what I do want to say? Your new bar opens today. I want an apology list written on the wall. and Roy Hodgson right at the start, because you wrote him off as a coach last year.
No. This is
what
I wrote.
A really good job.
This is what I wrote down. Obviously, his man management during the summer has worked. I thought it was a mistake to get rid of McBride, but Bobby Zamora, he's turned into an absolute gem.
Yeah, he's done well.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to get back to basics either.
No, well, he did that in the summer. With their defence, there's got to be that guy up there that has the big mouth, that has the shout, has that controllability of that defence. And I think that's where Sunderland are lacking.
Yeah.
Roy Keane's got to develop that.
Sir Alex Ferguson.
You don't normally hear that, do you?
Right.
By the way, it's Chelsea-Man United, folks, next weekend, and that's a big match for them, and not the way they wanted to enter after losing to Liverpool.
No, that isn't. And they've got that big Champions League game. Any game in the Champions League is going to be hard, and that's not a good way to set this up. And there were so many faults with Manchester United yesterday. They didn't look like they were.
They looked average.
For him to come out and actually admit that Liverpool would have better, that takes a lot for him to do that, because he never admits it was never our fault, was it? And you've got to question that. But his players, Vidic, just where did he? I mean, Manchester United, they go after that type of player. That you have to have that type of mentality to work with Alex Ferguson. But he lost his core. They're going to sorely miss him. But they did teams that they were unable to last year. That's the difference in their league season if it was to end now. The thing I see with Manchester United is their midfield. Their midfield is slowed down. That they are sorely missing in the midfield. Not years gone by. Games gone by, that midfield stops them having that worry at the back. I don't think it's him that they're missing. I think there's a lot more in there than that. Obviously going forward takes away that risk of being beaten at the back when you've got Ronaldo there. I think that Rooney needs to play just behind the front too. But I think the midfield is just
tough. His debut had a hand in the goal.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you don't go out there and expect too much. Look at Robinho. He went out there and made a difference on his moment. Berbatov's not that type of player. He'll do it quietly over the season. We'll be fine. But, you know what, starting off slow used to be okay. Manchester United get stronger as the season goes on. They get too many points behind. They're not going to catch up and get the championship back. Right now, I think Chelsea are the team. I mean, Liverpool showed great strides yesterday. But I think Chelsea are playing like they're in mid-season form.
But they do feel like Chelsea.
I'll tell you what the difference is. Scolari as opposed to Grant.
Here, Gary, and you don't see that confident swagger from Mourinho right now.
Well, I hate to parallel this to Chelsea, but it's almost like watching Chelsea play when he was manager there. It was efficient, but it wasn't that exciting. And all of a sudden, Milan, Inter have gone from that sort of flamboyant type of play to this sort of just workmanlike. They get it done, but it's just not pretty to watch.
Figo's past it for me.
I mean,
is he done now?
I think he's done. I think he's done.
I just hope he doesn't go to MLS, because that would just be a shame for MLS. It's not just the pace of that, it's the confidence of which he hit it. And, of course, that one screams of back of the net. Unfortunately, yes. It really is. But, I mean, we said this in the summer when we were all off. We're going, what are they going to change? What are they going to get Ronaldinho? I had a conversation with Max Bredos about this. It's like the baggage that he's going to bring. As many stars as you've got there, he's still going to bring baggage and disrupt things.
Now, how many other big teams in European football were after Ronaldinho? I'll tell you, none. Because they didn't want the baggage. Exactly what you said, Gary.
Man City.
Perfect. And he's not a good player anymore. He's not as good as he was.
Well, you do not do anything about Maldini. He's got to be in the starting lineup, but you're starting to see...
He's almost 40.
You're little by little, you're starting... the head's still there. He's a great coach. He'd make a great coach, but as a player, I think he's past his sell-by date. Ronaldinho can teach Pato something, but it's going to be the other way around, because Pato's going to teach him.
Mike Ashley.
We look at Alessandro Del Piero, and how has he meshed, and how has the attack meshed with Amaury?
He just keeps going. He just doesn't quit. And, I love the fact... But he's also already talking about, well, maybe I'll go to the Premiership. And I don't know if I agree with it, but he likes to get in the middle of things. Hey, Robinho, I just got to say, did he think he was signing for Cowdenbeath? In the 3rd division of Scotland, you know they call
You're going to bring
blue...
this up, aren't you?
Yeah, they call it the Blue Brazil.
Oh, where did you get this stack?
Glad he did. Yeah, they do, but I don't think it's out of default. I think they're going to deserve it. They're going to earn the results. You know, they've got a better team. They're playing better. You know, they've got the stability in the side, back, middle, and front. Whereas Milan.
Yeah, lights out. Say goodnight, Gracie, because Palmer, I think you're done and dusted now. As that last chance came through, it was very much opening up for Inter. Zlatan Ibrahimovic just steps aside, loses his defender, goes to that far post where nobody's picking him up. Perfect first touch. And as you see there, just turns around for the accolades. This is why you pay me the big bucks, because this is what I can do for you.
The ball, they're both looking, but he is leading with that elbow, so they're going to call it back.
I'm glad you changed your mind last minute there.
Screamer, and look at that for a 9.9 on the Richter scale, but good finish there. Nice little setup, looks up, nice little dink into the box there, not cleared well enough. You don't head it straight down to the edge of your box. Maybe about this yesterday, and the fact is I didn't see Zamora play with this sort of passion. Look at the turn, he gets hold of it, holds up, knows where the defender is, turns him inside out, picks his spot nicely. Jeskalainen, no chance of stopping. Finished by young Frank there, but he gets hold of that ball right in the edge of the area, cuts it to his left, goes past the 2 defenders, past Mega Richards, and slots that in the far post. That is a beautiful setup. Obviously training ground, great chest down from the forward. Just knows exactly where his teammate is. Just chest that down away from the defender. Good finish, professional finish. Yeah, you know, you say goalkeeper had it covered, but look at the defending there. Just gave it up well too easy and let him go. Great cross, and I think the defenders were quite ready for this. They're all caught flat-footed. You see even Ibrahimovic just stood there, gives up on the play, lets the header go.
Well, the lead would not last long. It is a deflected shot from Quaresma, the new signing. And it's 1-1 just 2 minutes later.
Yeah, a little bit of a deflection right there. You could see that.
Look at Tanya forward on that.
No, there's no intent there to injure, of course. Both going for the ball, 100% commitment, and you're going to like that.
And Inter Milan welcome back Patrick Vieira. And luckily he's a good defensive midfield player because he's not much of a finisher.
Well, Berbatov's not all about scoring goals. Sometimes it's about the setup. It takes 2 defenders. They give him way too much respect. But where is the cover and defence at the edge of that area, Keith?
I didn't believe.
Yeah, you can see how upset Van der Sar is there. But I've got to say, lack of commitment there from Wes Brown. Well, what I like about this is showing the experience, and this is why Giggs is still at Manchester United. He brings that extra element.
After the season.
This is what I said. Dirk Kuyt passes that ball on, but it is all made there by Mascherano. The world-class player just not giving up on it, and good form for Kuyt to be able to pass that one.
Really good, guys. Welcome back to Super Sunday Plus here, presented by Bass Pale Ale. That's Gazza, that's Keith, I'm Christian, and we've got a big highlight for you. We're going to send it off to Ewood Park. Blackburn Rovers taking on Arsene Wenger and Arsenal.
First, he makes up for the error slightly before that, where he skies one on a free kick. The super setup, and we'll talk about that a little later. A great finish for Van Persie on his favourite left foot.
He stays fit, one of the best players in the Premier League, and almost adds to his earlier goal. That one hits the side netting.
Well, you can see Adebayor just disgusted by that one. That one, too selfish, needed to cover that one across the ball.
Cross to Santa Cruz, finding space in between the 2 central defenders again, and this time he heads, yet again, over the crossbar.
Yeah, different day, different game. That one's going in, and this is how to do it.
And Nielsen to Adebayor. It's his first goal of the season. Well, he'd have some more later on. Not too sure about this dance, Gary.
No, somebody's holding the strings above him. But you've got to say, bad defending. He doesn't even have to leap for that ball. Too
We're
easy.
making a saving goal.
There you go. England's #1. Oh, no, not anymore. That's right.
That's typical. And Stephen Warnock, well...
You and I talked about this time and time again. Abue goes down and shouldn't be given, and I don't think that would have been given on reputation.
Well, Blackburn now.
Yeah, Paul Robinson there, absolutely mad at himself. He knows he could have done a bit better and should have done. Too easy for himself. A little bit too close to Paul Robinson, but great through ball. Sets him up, catches the defence square, goes around. Robinson almost gets it, but Adebayor the best to finish.
I think we had as well a good defensive performance, of course, because we scored.
So calm, so composed, and you're fired up.
Yeah,
Why?
well, you've got the inexperience against the professor. Now, the professor shouldn't have anything to say about him, but he says, we had a good defensive performance. Yeah, they didn't give a goal away. They should have. They should have given several. You've got Colatori, who's not played as well over the last 18 months as when he first came up. Gallus, who, well, never know whether he's there or he's not.
Or he's
They're
crying.
very good footballing defenders. They're not very good at staying at home. And that's my problem, is that they don't do that. And they could, at Dynamo Kiev, when they play them in Champions League, they're going to be in problems if they're not careful.
Go to Kansas City against LA Galaxy. Kansas, bottom of the table too. Surely the Galaxy could pick up at least a point against them.
Well, by the way, that was actually Bruce Arena at the start of the game, not at the end. But that ball, as it comes across, I think it took a little deflection by the defender, but nonetheless, good goal.
Yeah, and this goal, well, I don't think Josh Wicks could do anything about this one. There they are now from 35 yards, and Kurt Arnolfo, he's a happy man.
Yeah, 2 goals in 2 minutes. Around there's ex-Galaxy players, and of course Robbie Finley being one of them, always able to step up there. But you can't take anything away from this goal.